Hello, hello everyone. I'm Adrian Chavez from Adrian Talks Entertainment. I'm here with New Mexico actor and filmmaker Loren Anthony. Um, Loren, what can you tell me about what you've seen here at the New Mexico Film Festival, or the Santa Fe Film Festival so far?
Well, the Santa Fe Film Festival has been very awesome. We're really proud and blessed to be here, especially with everything we've gone through the past couple years. Post-pandemic, actually having to meet people in person is it's really awesome. And it's nice to see some old faces and make some new friends and just being a part of all the festivities and just seeing people still in love with filmmaking, seeing people still coming to see movies and enjoy time with each other. I think that's something special and unique.
Right, that's what the festival's all about, huh?
Mm-hmm.
What can you tell me about your work here on films in New Mexico?
Films in New Mexico is always a struggle and a challenge, but yet it's always fun. For those that don't know New Mexico very well, we have all 4 seasons in one day. And with that, it's the same thing with a lot of our challenges on set, so with filmmaking itself. But I think the beginning, the ground part of it, the very basis of filmmaking, having an idea and putting it on paper is probably one of the most challenging, but to see it fruition into an idea to dream to reality and seeing it showcase in film festivals like the Santa Fe Film Festival is a very proud accomplishment for not only the actors in front of the camera, but the crew, the producers, the director, the writer, everybody that involved. I think that's something that's really unique and makes something inside of you just grow even more, and it's a very addictive thing. So if you want to ever get into film that's listening out there, it's an addictive process that you gotta really enjoy and go through some really hard times, but it's really worth it.
What made you get into film?
I like being in an imaginary world all the time. Growing up as a kid, growing up on the Navajo Nation, we grew up in poverty but didn't know it. Yeah, we grew up through a lot of hard times, but we turned little rocks and little sticks into guns and little rocks into trucks, and your creativity just flows, and you don't have a lot of the amenities that are around today in the regular world, where you have running water and gas, electricity, and stuff like that. So you find ways to get creative. You find ways to make things work, and I've always had that throughout my life. I implement it in a lot of the aspects that I do, from my community work with the hauling wood for the elders, to working with at-risk youth, to helping people with addictions. If there's a will, there's a way, and I really feel that's how a lot of people in New Mexico film is finding that will to put into their film to make it a way for people to see it.
Talking about New Mexico film, how has it changed since you got into the industry?
Oh shoot! So some people need me to Google my name here, but I'm the bad boy of film for New Mexico for a bit, and that's because of who I am as an individual. I'm very tied to my community. I have calluses on my hands. I do the work. I'm on the ground. The elders know me. The kids know me. My community knows me. I'm not hard to find. Mm-hmm. You go to where I'm from in my community and ask for me, you'll more likely find out where I'm at. And that's the big thing for me, is like I have a big accountability with who I am as an individual. And that's really important to me. We talk about representation in film. We talk about representation in all aspects of things. But for me, representation is like the words like you're redoing something, you relapse, you recycle, you're redoing something. Mm-hmm. But if you're going to represent, you take that present part out, you're presenting yourself every single time. And that to me is representation, and it's important because I gotta be accountable for my community and my people. So being in New Mexico film and being a filmmaker and dealing with creative minds and also people who are uneducated on topics dealing with Native American issues, Native American heritage, Native American culture, Native American language, all those things I have to advocate because my people aren't there. So therefore I have to present myself in those situations to say the things that are tough, to say the things that may not agree with other people. So therefore, I become that quote-unquote bad guy. But there's a villain in everybody's story, Mm-hmm. So, but overall, I'm here to educate and show that we can do it together. We can combine and be human beings and make those things work.
What are you working on now?
Right now, I am trying to get a 405 squat.
Aren't we all?
I'm almost there. I'm hitting the gym pretty hard. My brother Ryan Begay and I, we've been training pretty hard on trying to make the best of ourselves. And that's not only physically. So we're hitting the gym, but we're eating good, and we're working to sharpen our skills as actors, working with ourselves, because when you're at a certain caliber in this industry, and then with our resources here in New Mexico, where I'm at and where I'm living right now is in Galton, New Mexico, and there isn't access to acting studios, actor workshops, and stuff like that. So my brother Ryan Begay, now we collide. We collide and make things happen. And so with that collision of talent and challenging ourselves in that aspect, we're also being our own coaches. And so when we get these self-tapes, he's my reader, he helps coach me through it, and then vice versa. And we want to share that with the kids too. We want to share that with people that are up and coming, elders to youth that want to get into film. So we're able to do coaching with individuals and help them with their self-tapes. So we're doing a lot of that right now. So a lot of our artist development that we're doing with individuals, because there's a lot of people that are, especially with our indigenous youth and indigenous talent, they're very talented, but they need a lot of work as far as like how to present themselves through auditions, through being on set, all the 101 basics. So we're trying to implement those things so we can have more of our people on screen. And I think that's really important, not just on screen, but behind the scenes too. It's important to have that, but not just send them out into the wolves and then let them fail, because I don't want that. I want people to have all the tools that they need. I want them to know everything I know, so that way they don't have to go all through the hard times. They don't have to be the bad guy. They can just do the work and get in there and run with it.
I think that's a great message, showing people that you don't need the studios, you don't need that. You just need people who are dedicated and who are going to work with you and who are going to make you get better.
Yeah.
Because that's great. That's great what you're doing for that part of New Mexico that doesn't really have access to that kind of thing. Tell me about that, the film that you're working on. He told me you have a project.
Yeah, so Ryan Begay and myself are working on producing a film. We're looking to showcase and start that in April of 2023. And right now the writing process is tightening up, and we're getting ready to start the casting process. So it's interesting for me as a filmmaker, because we're going to go all out on this one, from the locations to the crew to everything, to make it as I want to cuss right now, but as awesome as possible. Okay. And with that, we want to create a buzz for our community. The area of Galton, New Mexico has been a hub for big films back in the day, in the Western days. The old John Wayne and those type of movies that came through. We want to recreate that, but in a way where we're running the show. We're Navajos running the show, because it's a Navajo town, and not just to be like in a way like, okay, well, it's a race thing. It's not. It's just more like it's our time to really bring up a forward of energy, creativity to the forefront, and show not only our hometown of Galton, New Mexico, but New Mexico itself, and anybody else listening and watching, that we have the capabilities, we have the resources, we can do this. We don't need to be casted for things. We don't need to wait for other shows to say, hey, we want to make a story about your people, we want to make a story about what you're talking about, and just make our stories and do them right and do them well, and not make them look like a student film, make them look like legit movies. That's what we're aiming for, and it's exciting, very exciting.
No, I'm excited for you.
Yeah.
And, is there anything that I haven't asked you that you would like to share before we go?
I don't really have anything. I mean, there's so many things. I could talk about movies and film forever, and that's one of the things I really enjoy about the Santa Fe Film Festival, is that there's so many like-minded people, and we could just talk forever and ever. And there's been so many different cool events. The after party's been awesome, and the screenings have been really killer. It's great to just meet everybody, and it's It's weird. It's like a kamikaze random wheel of people just motioning through things, and it's fun. And you want to meet everybody and spend as much time with them to get to know where they're from and how they're doing. And I think this is a good place for it. So anybody interested in filmmaking, go to the screenings, go to the shows, watch as much film as you can, especially from your communities, especially from your people, because that's the biggest support you can do, because we have a lot of New Mexico talent and New Mexico films that are doing really good stuff right now. And I encourage you guys to watch them, because good or bad, it's good to watch them because it's support. It shows our community and our people and outside these bigger networks that we can do this, and we're growing, we're getting better, and we deserve a spot on the world and the map.
Speaking of watch, where can people find you? Where can people watch you?
Oh my gosh. Right now, I have something coming up on AMC. And I have Dexter on Showtime right now that's streaming, and then I got a couple of projects that are on Amazon, and you just gotta look up the IMDb and check up that too. There's a lot of listings of those, but I don't know. It's weird promoting myself sometimes, and I think that's one of the big things to get over is like, don't be shy. Just go out there and promote yourself. And if you guys need promotion as well, let us know, let me know, let Ryan know, and we are here to collaborate and make things happen. So I really appreciate this interview. I really appreciate your time.
Talking with you.
Yeah.
Thank you. You guys were really great, real inspirational. You know, it's really good to see viewers, you know, and you not only for yourself but for your community. So thank you guys.
Nice.
It was an honor talking to you guys.
Cool.